Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Do you have a food that is too bitter and you want to try to find a way to get some of that bitterness out? I have some suggestions for you. First of all, you could chill it. Make it really cold if it's a vegetable that you want to eat raw and yet it's too bitter for your taste buds. All you need to do is cut it up into some very tiny bite-sized pieces or very thin slices. Put it in some very cold water and allow it to chill well for anywhere from 30 minutes to several hours. Obviously, if it's going to be several hours, you want to put it in the refrigerator and get it really cold, and then go ahead and enjoy it ice cold and raw, and that should help to dissipate that bitterness for you. Another option would be to heat it up. Now, heating a food can also help to take out the bitterness of it. You could try searing something, roasting it, or braising vegetables to help reduce the bitterness. And if you don't want to overcook a vegetable, you could try just blanching it very briefly in some boiling water, take it out, and then serve it as you would like to serve it. Another way to take the bitterness out of a food would be to add a little bit of sweetener. For example, when you're making a tomato sauce, if you add just a little bit of sugar or a little bit of a sweetener of some sort to that tomato sauce, it will help to reduce the bitterness that naturally comes with a concentrated tomato product. And by that I mean particularly tomato paste. That can be on the bitter side. And so if you're using tomato paste, add just a little bit of sweetener, and that will help to cut that bitterness that's in there. Another thing that you can do to reduce bitterness is to add some acid. That's a common chef's tactic that's used to help reduce bitterness in food, especially leafy green vegetables and maybe other vegetables as well. If you notice, at the end of cooking time, they might add a little bit of fresh lemon juice to something, or maybe a sprinkle of vinegar. It does not have to be a lot of lemon juice nor a lot of vinegar. You don't want to make it so that when you go to eat it, you're going to be puckering and tasting all that vinegar or tasting lemon juice. You just want enough to brighten the flavor and cut the bitterness, and that will help. Now, if vinegar and lemon juice doesn't work well for you, a little red wine will do the trick as well. How about adding a little bit of salt to your dish? A little salt actually balances out the bitterness, and it's sometimes even better than added sugar. So if you've ever seen anybody actually put a little bit of salt on a grapefruit, that's why the salt helps to cut the bitterness in the grapefruit. How about adding a little bit of fat? Fat could be in the form of butter or oil, ghee, cheese, cream, a nut butter, or some other type of fat, coconut oil, something like that. Fat actually tends to dull the taste buds to some degree, and it can help to mask a bitter flavor in a food. Why do you think a lot of people like to add cream to their coffee? It not only adds a creaminess and a richness to it, but it also helps to cut the bitterness that's in the coffee. So try adding a little fat or creamy something to your dish, and that might cut the bitterness. You could also try mixing a bitter food with a not so bitter food to help balance out the flavors that's in there. For instance, if you have a raw salad and you want to include some baby greens in there, or some mature greens like kale into your salad, well, raw kale can be bitter. So if you don't make your salad with all raw kale, but mix it up with other greens that are not so bitter, then that will help to balance it out, and you'll not taste that bitterness quite as much. Another thing that you can do to help reduce bitterness in food is to add a little bit of baking soda. Now, I'm talking just a pinch, and you can do that with something sour and also with something bitter. For example, brewed tea can sometimes be bitter, and if you find that it is, add just a pinch of baking soda to it, and that will pull the bitterness right out of that. That's something I learned years ago from my family consumer sciences teacher. let's say you've added too much lemon juice, too much vinegar to try to pull the bitterness out. Now it's on the sour side and you don't like it. Add some baking soda to that. Now I'm talking just a little bit. And especially if something is very acidic and you're adding baking soda, it could cause it to bubble up. So you want to be real careful about that. Just a very small amount, stir it and allow those bubbles to dissipate, and then give it a taste, and it should be better for you. Well, I do hope this helps you out. Let me know if you have any other tricks up your sleeve on how to get bitterness out of a food. I hope this helps. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Bye for now.